Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. In this episode, I want to give you 7 tips to get great moon photography. All right, so tip number 1. Of course, you got to use a tripod, a very, very good tripod, because you want to really get a sharp photo. Stay until the end because all these tips are vital. Tip number 2, plan your shooting. I use 2 things. In my office, I use the photographer Ephemeris, which is completely free, which is amazing. The way it works is basically here you can put a pin anywhere. So let me go, for example, to Paris, okay? And you can put the date that you want. And you can see here that very gray line is going to be where the moon is going to rise. And you can see here it says that the moon rise is going to be at 9:25 p.m., 2021-25 in European style. But the sunset is going to be at 9:15. So that means the moon is going to rise during the night. And this is the hardest kind of photography. But sometimes the moon rises during the day. So I'm going to show you both cases and how you retouch both cases. So once you know this, let's say I wanted to get the moon behind Notre Dame. I can see that, you know, if I can stand here, for example, Notre Dame is going to be, let me zoom in a little bit. Let's move this around. So Notre Dame is right here. I can see the moon is going to be rising. So if I put the pin here, for example, Notre Dame being here, I know the moon is going to rise right behind Notre Dame. So anywhere here, if I can get on the top of these buildings, I might get Notre Dame and the moon behind. That's kind of cool. So anywhere along that line, I'm going to see Notre Dame and the moon. Once you know where you're going to stand to get the moon behind something very iconic, then it's time to go and shoot the moon. So tip number 3, use PhotoPills and the AR, augmented reality feature, so you can see really in real time exactly where the moon is going to be. It's not always super precise, but it's going to really help you to make sure you got something very important, something that's iconic and the moon behind it. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example with downtown Los Angeles, and I'm going to show you an example with the Griffith Park. I kind of messed up the Griffith Park one. I love the moon shot that I got, but I couldn't. I had to go to another mountain if I wanted to get the moon aligned with the Griffith Park, but that's totally okay. And by the way, guys, if you're gonna smash that like button, it makes a huge difference for me. Other people can discover this video. So if you can take a moment and like this video, I would so much appreciate it. Also, I've got an amazing masterclass. The link is below this video, where I tell you how at the age of 40, I stopped being a salesman to become a full-time fine art photographer. I almost lost my house in the process. I ended up selling $500,000 worth of fine art prints through galleries and through books. And I'm going to show you 3 things that made all the difference for me. The link is below this video. Tip number 4, shoot at 200 meters or above. A lot of people doing moon photography shoot like at 800, 600. The problem, it gets harder and harder and harder. I find that 200 to 300 is a good spot because you can really get something of the environment and the moon. So I have a 75 to 300 from Sony, which I love, and I've been shooting the moon with it, but you have to get some kind of long lens in some way. Manual focus and make sure that the moon is really sharp. It's really very important. So I usually go to manual focus and I can punch in my focus with my Sony and make sure I'm really sharp. It's so hard, especially at night. During the day, it's kind of easier, much easier. But during the night, actually the next day, I totally messed up and I tried to get the moon over Santa Monica Pier and they were all blurry. So the trick is you take a photo, you make sure it's fully sharp. If not, you use manual focus until you know you've got a sharp photo. And then you don't touch anything. Best you use a remote because you know you are not sharp. The moon is not gonna go away. You have to make sure you don't move. So when you have to shoot at night, I highly recommend to shoot HDR. And I'm gonna show you what you do with the HDR later on. -2, 0, and +2, because the moon is so bright compared to the rest, you won't be able to get everything really nice in one shot. But when it comes for daylight photography, like I did with the Griffith Park, 1 exposure is fine. Last tip is when you shoot at night, make sure that the moon is as small as possible when you go into manual focus. Smaller is going to be the moon, more sharp it's going to be. It's really hard to get sharp photo at night of the moon. Believe me, it's really hard, especially at 300 millimeter. But you have to do it. If you can nail it, it's really good. I'm going to show you 2 shoots, 2 supermoons, one from 2016 and one from 2020. So first, the easiest one is going to be the one from 2020 because the supermoon for 2016 is really hard retouching. We got a mixed exposure in Photoshop. That's coming at the end. Right now, we're going to do everything in Lightroom. It's going to be much easier. So you can see here, this is the moon. I was trying to get the observatory here on the right, but actually I messed it up. I should have gone one more mountain further. The way there was like different hills, and I had to go one more hill. It was too late because the moon goes up really fast, like in 10 minutes. So I didn't have the time to reset up on the next mountain. But anyway, I'm still happy with what I got, and it did really well on Instagram. So I shot it at 300 millimeter with my 70-300 at 200 of a second, f6.3, ISO 100. And you will see with one exposure, I'm happy we got everything. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open the shadows. I'm going to not bring down the highlights all the way, or maybe in this case, maybe all the way. And then I'm going to do my black point, holding the Option key to make sure I got about, you see what you see here in yellow and red is 100% black. So that's good. I'm going to take this off. And then I'm going to get my white point. Same thing, I'm going to move, hold on the Option key, and I move to the right until I see something. Look at this, look at this. So actually I'm going to be not holding the white button, something like this. Yeah, like that, that's good. I'm going to add, there's no cloud, so I'm going to add some texture, and I'm going to add some clarity. Well, not clarity. See, clarity is going to make halos everywhere. So no clarity for me. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to add texture and clarity because I don't want any halos here on the bushes. Now the white balance is totally off. I think I'm going to go a little more blue and a lot more magenta. Yeah, that's more like it. Add a bit of contrast, add a bit of vibrance, maybe a little bit brighter. Okay, so I'm going to crop it Instagram style. So I'm going to take the crop tool. I'm going to go 4:5, X to go into portrait mode, and portrait mode. Portrait mode is good. And I'm going to put the moon like right under this golden point here, because I want to give still some space. Voila, maybe make it a bit more contrasty, and voila. And so what I did is I was kind of upset because I wanted to get the observatory behind, and I missed my mountain. It was so hard. I really had to climb more. So I did two other shots a little wider just to show, and that's the observatory. I was trying to get the moon there. I could have done it if I had followed photo pills. I did not follow photo pills. It was showing me that the moon was going to go on the left side. I didn't trust it. I should have. And this is the last one that I got. And the moon, higher goes the moon, smaller it gets. So on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to synchronize the retouching that I did, but I'm not going to synchronize the crop, and everything else I'm going to synchronize. Voila. And boom, so you can see the full moon here. And this one, it's much smaller because now I'm at 161 millimeter, and this one I'm at 128 millimeter. Okay, now crazy, crazy, crazy moon. The super moon in 2016. So what I did is, remember, there's so much dynamic range, you've got no choice than to go HDR. So this is my normal exposure. This is my underexposure, and you can see here, let me show you the moon. So that's the normal exposure. It's completely blown away. Even if I bring on the highlights, we have some details, but it's burned. However, if I bring on the highlights on the overexposed photo, look at this. I get all the details that I want. It's amazing. And then I didn't even use the overexposed photo. I only used the normal exposure and the underexposure, okay? And then what I did is, it's just for the fun, I'm going to show you different photos of the underexposed photo of the moon going up, like this. Actually, not this one. I'm going to use just this one and this one, okay? Yes, so this is under photos. And then I'm going to blend all this into Photoshop to get something like this, very similar. So the way I'm going to do this, first I'm going to retouch the normal exposure. So I'm going to open the shadows, I'm going to boost the white, and I'm not caring so much about the moon. I'm bringing down the highlights, but not so much. I'm going to do my black point, the white point, yes, maybe bring down a bit of highlights. I mean, look, the moon is totally gone. There's almost no more details there. I'm going to boost the exposure overall. I think I want to make the photo a little more blue and a little more magenta. Okay, I think I'm going to make a big circle here over the city, which I'm going to invert, double click on effects, so nothing. Just want to add a bit of exposure there, maybe a bit of magenta or yellow. Yeah, because there was some kind of glow around the moon that I'm kind of missing here. Okay, I like that. Maybe add a bit of exposure. On this one, I am going to add a bit of clarity and sharpening because I can. But you see the moon is fully blown away. And I want to get closer to the moon. So I don't need all this space. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go and I'm just going to crop this photo in a way. Like I still want to get a bit of this. Maybe a bit of this. Something like this. Like I really want, like maybe on this golden golden here, maybe just right there. I like to play around with the rule of third and not put it exactly on the rule of third, but like a little bit like this. I think it just makes it a bit more dynamic. So wow, now it's there, but the moon is fully, you know, there's no more details. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click the next, this photo, so the underexposed photo and the two other underexposed photo that I shot. I'm going to synchronize everything, that including the crop this time, including the crop, and boom. Check this out. So now we have, look at the moon, it's perfect. You can even see like a chopper going by, and then the moon here is a little higher, it's perfect, and here it's perfect again. I'm actually not even going to use this one. I'm only going to use the 3 photos. So I'm going to take this photo, and this photo, and I'm going to play around in Photoshop. So 1, 2, 3, right click, edit, open as layers in Photoshop. All right, so here I am in Photoshop. All the layers are open, and I'm just going to take, if you want to know what a layer does or has, you just hold on the Option key and you click here, and that's going to turn off the visibility of all the layers but this one. So I can see this one is the moon, and then this one is the moon underexposed, and this one is the moon underexposed, but a little higher up. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take the moon that's underexposed, which is in the middle here, put it on top. Okay, then I'm going to zoom in with Z for zoom, like Zorro, but it's zoom. Then I'm take the quick selection tool, or W, and then I'm going to make this smaller. So any tool in Photoshop, mesdames et messieurs, any tool in Photoshop, you hold on Control and Option, you click and drag, and you can make your brush smaller or bigger. So I'm going to keep it smaller, and I'm just going to select this, and boom. There's such a dynamic range that it's perfectly selected. And all I have to do now is click here, and boom, it's going to create a mask, and voila. Now I got the moon with all the details on top. I'm happy. I need to clean up, and I will do so in a minute. But now I'm going to take this other moon, which is much higher. I'm going to do the same thing. So W for the quick select tool, select the moon, click here, here for the mask, and boom. Command T, and I can move this moon a little higher. I can move this moon here, for example. Okay, I love that. And I can go here on the original layer and hold on the Option key. Make sure you're on the Move tool. You hold on the Option key and I click and drag, and it makes a new moon. I can put it, it was going up a bit like this, and then again like this, for example. And boom, and you can show, you know, how the moon was doing all the way. It's really cool. First, I want to make that moon a little darker. So remember that moon is on that layer here. Okay, this other layer is just for the other moons. I can go just on that layer, click here, curve, okay? And then click here so that the curve only affects the layer that's under. And the layer that's under is just that moon. And I can just make this one a little bit darker so it matches the other ones a little more. Maybe bring down a little bit the highlights, maybe not so much. Something like this. And you see it's making it more saturated. So one trick is that curve adjustment, you can put it into luminosity mode. What that's going to do is that it's going to make it darker without changing the saturation. So it's pretty good. I could spend more time making an exact color, but you get the idea. In any case, the moon has went up, totally changed color. So it's actually more real. It's just fun to show how the moon progresses. So now I just want to clean that up. I'm going to create a layer that takes into account all we've done so far. So Command Alt Shift E. And on this one, I'm just going to go in there, take the, I'm just going to in there and take the spot heating brush tool, and I'm just going to brush away that chopper. J is the shortcut. Make this smaller. Just going to clean this up here. Voila. There's a bit of a mess here. Voila. Voila. We do get some chromatic aberration around the moon, but that's totally normal. And voila. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give me a little like if you did. Share this video if you can. Leave me a comment and tell me what you would like to learn. And of course, if you did not subscribe to my channel, mesdames et messieurs, subscribe and get some awesome videos every week. It's amazing. Don't forget to watch my masterclass. The link is below this video. And I will see you in another video. Au revoir.